Hey everybody, welcome back to Coffee with Mikey. I am Mikey. Hey everybody, welcome back to Coffee with Mikey. I am having a nice proven decaf right now. Had some honey in there. Um, Grass-fed milk. And the distinction with grass-fed milk is kind of crazy, right? They assume like cows eat grass. But that's not how the dairy industry really generally works. A lot of cattle in the United States is fattened up with kind of grains and causing inflammation in their body, and like therefore as a side effect, the milk is mm, maybe not less palatable, but more difficult to digest. So my chiropractor years and years ago was like, I told him I was lactose intolerant. He's like, "Are you actually lactose intolerant? Or are you drinking milk that doesn't agree with you?" And I was like, "I don't understand what that means." So he told me like, "Here, drink this," right? And he pointed out it's readily available at my local health food store. I can get it on Amazon, and it's grass milk. That's it. The cows that only eat grass, right? And I started drinking that, and then lo and behold, no more lactose intolerant. No more, like I can have cheese, I can have dairy products. Like, my body is able to process these things now. So thanks, Dr. Jake. You the man. Anyway, today I want to talk about flakiness and what I do when people flake on me. It's like a consistent thing, right? Like I have been in that place in my life too where I'm overwhelmed, I'm overstimulated, I have a lot going on, things at home aren't going well, and I made a lot of promises and it didn't follow through. So what I did was I fixed all the all the craziness at home. But when people do that to me, when people just don't show up for me, or I agree to something and they don't meet me halfway, or whatever, they don't meet up, they're not their words aren't aligned with their actions. I write them off, right? Friends, family, whoever, I just write them off, right? And I writing them off doesn't mean in the context here with what I've done is I don't hate them, I don't resent them, I just don't expect anything from them anymore. I don't invite them anymore. I don't make room for them in my plans anymore. And they show up, yay, bonus. And if they don't show up, oh well, we're still gonna have a good time. We're still gonna have fun. And it's one of the things I've had to learn over time that's been really helpful for me as a person, right? As learning and growing and healing through all this, all the things in my life that have happened to me. It's good to give people grace. And I give people the grace I wish I had or that I got from the people that are still in my life during that time period. I give them grace. And I think that's really important. And by grace, I mean I give them the respect of their own time. I don't assume malice. I don't assume that they're plotting against me or they're intentionally disrespecting me by not showing up. Right? I just give them the time and space to figure themselves out. Right? And maybe they will, maybe they won't, maybe they'll continue to be like that. And that's okay. I just want to expect them to show up for me in the way that, you know, I originally thought they would have, right? Even if they said they're going to do it, there's a disconnect there for whatever reason. And I give them time and space to figure it out. And that's how, I keep peace in my life. I think peace has been the most important concept in this phase of my life where, somebody who's always at war with myself, always pushing, always burning myself out, always trying to outdo the next person or keep up with the Joneses, right? The concept of keeping up with the Joneses is crazy, right? So the way I understand keeping up with the Joneses is a phrase where, if the neighbor buys something, you buy something better, and vice versa. And that keeps going into this perpetual cycle of consumerism that impoverishes both parties. And I mean, I used to be in that cycle for a long time. And once I realized, like, I don't even like those people. The people I'm trying to keep up and flex on, I don't even like them. They wouldn't even be my friends in real life. So why am I hurting myself to impress people that I don't even like? So it's an unlearning that I had to process and I had to realize like, oh, didn't like this. I'm not gonna do that anymore. Never again. Ta-da. And a lot of times when I say never again, it's like my sign to say, all right, dropping this, moving forward. So yep, That's part of my role is to inform of my, my life experiences, my lived experience, and say, oh, this didn't really work out for me, and this is what did work out for me. So hopefully, the people that see this and understand it, in the message, if this message is for you, that it works out for you, and you learn these cycles faster than I did. That's all I wanted to share today. When people are flaky, give them grace and let them go, and don't set expectations on them. Um, it's tough at work, right? When they have to make deliverables and they can't, and they're like under resourced, or there could be a whole bunch of things happening in the background. So let it go. Let it go, because when you let the things go, when you let the things that are holding you back go, that resentment, that fear, that anxiety, whatever that is, that gives more space for the right things to come in, more joy, more honesty, more bravery, more room to be confident in yourself. And that's a lesson I've learned. So, in terms of flaky people, let go of flaky people, so more consistent people can show up, right? So you can be the consistent person. Because when I was letting flaky people dictate, my time of day and things like that, people um, in my family, or friend groups that just would never show up, or were always late. And ironically, none of my relationships were like this. None of my like romantic relationships, all of them were like super on time, on point people, and I was just not the person. They were very, very time conscious, and I was the flaky person in their life, and it caused a lot of conflict. And I think it was because I had other people in my life that were really flaky, and I just like assumed that behavior because I accepted it. Right, that behavior like sank into my own sense of self and and sense of being, and it caused a lot of friction in other places in my life. And once I let that go, great. Am I still always on time for yourself? No, but do I commit to things that, you know, I gotta be there at 8? I'll be there at 8. But now in my own time, in my own space, I commit to things that I know that I can make it for. Instead of saying yes to everything, I say no to a lot of things. If it's maybe, it's a no. If it's not an absolute yes, it's a no. And having room for making room for those things in my life, and saying like, yeah, if it's not absolutely yes, it's a no. Right. Even that part of me that was like really people pleasing, now that I've settled that in my consciousness, my nervous system, where like I don't feel like I have to say yes to people please, it's been a nicer life. I'm more calm, I'm more relaxed, I'm less pressured by external pressures. Like I don't even feel like I need to show up for stuff like, oh well, that's not for me, right? Not this time. I appreciate the invitation, but I can't make it. And I have learned to settle the fear of missing out, the FOMO in my life, by doing that, and experiencing the joy of missing out. Right? Like I historically had said yes to thing. I went through this like yes man phase in my life, where like yes, I'm saying yes to all the opportunities, and like a lot of those opportunities didn't really work out the way I thought they would, because I was just overcommitted. Right. At one point, I was doing like 2 8-week courses at the same time, and there were conflicting times. I was in a YouTube mastermind that was conflicting with a time I had with what coaching thing that I was paying like 10K for. And the YouTube mastermind was like 5K, and I ended up dropping out of it. Um, and I mean, it worked out, because like when I was in the mastermind, I wasn't posting on YouTube, I wasn't editing and stuff like that, and now I am. Very good. It just needed time to incubate, and I also needed to say no to a lot of things to have the energy do the to do the things right. I one person can't do everything, and I've learned to automate, eliminate, and delegate. And in my personal life, where I have like a day job, and now I just have more time and space to do things that I actually absolutely really want, and I don't feel obligated to show up to things that really aren't for me, or things I were excited for initially. And now I'm like, oh well, you know I need to take this time and space back to focus on the thing that matters to me right here, right now. And it finding that balance is really difficult. And even in my life today, right here, right now, it's difficult. Right, I'm recording this at 3:23 in the morning. um, just because I had time and energy to do it right here, right now. And That's not to say you have to get up at 3 in the morning to record videos. It's just the time and space right here, right now, where I had to do it. I feel like doing it. And I think this is something that's really important to me. If somebody's consistently flaking on you, don't expect anything from them. Right? If they show up, bonus, nice. Thanks for showing up. And if they don't, oh well. We all move on in our lives. You don't need permission from other people to do those things, right? To enjoy your life. Um, And I wish I'd known that sooner. I wish I didn't hold resentment towards the people who were flaky in my life, and then I became flaky, right? Flaky being like people who doesn't a person that doesn't show up to meet their obligations, right? Or a person says, "Oh, we should do this," and then when you're like, "Hey, where are you? Hey, I thought we were hanging out. Hey, like it's the time you're supposed to be there, and that person's not there." Like, oh, well, now I just don't even expect. Like in those people that are like, "Oh, we should hang out. We should make plans." I don't I don't even respond in a way that like says, "Oh, yeah, we absolutely should." Like, "Oh, it'll be good to see you when I see you." Right? And I'm like, "Oh, that would be great." But if I don't make plans then and there and I don't commit to it, yeah. And then I know like, oh, something came up. Or, they're in the place where I was, where overcommitted, overstimulated, exhausted, nervous system's like a wreck and the social battery is gone. So it is what it is. So TLDR, give flaky people grace, or don't plan for them to be in your life. Right? If they show up, great, and if they don't show up, it is what it is. It shouldn't cause you long-term trauma because somebody didn't show up for you. But it's more emphasis to show up for yourself. Okay, thanks. Bye. Take care.